The periodic table is our next lecture here, and I'm going to probably break this into parts because really I could go on and on and on, and I know that isn't what you're looking for, but we could really go a long time when it comes to explaining it. I'm going to do some of the basics here, and then I'll get into a few more of the advanced things. I guess starting out here, the periodic table is organized in vertical and horizontal groups. It's also organized by metals and nonmetals and all the other things. So let's start out with that. The metal-nonmetal line is located right over here, and this is color-coded right now. Everything to the left side here, including the bottom elements, is known as metals. Everything to the top and right side here is known as nonmetals. And this special kind of lighter brown color there is known as metalloids. They share properties of both. When we get into specifically talking about the metals, we'll come over here and start. We have them by families. Families means they share properties that are alike. The first family is known as the alkaline metals. Hydrogen is over here. Hydrogen in some periodic tables, they'll slide over here because it is a gas. It's really not placed correctly, but it is placed by some of its properties, like that it has one valence electron. The second row here is known as the Alkaline Earth. Basically another group of families that shares properties. One of the main things they feature is they have two valence electrons where the alkalis have one. In the middle here we have a group called the transition metals. Fairly unreactive, fairly stable, make up major components of our Earth. Iron, chromium, copper, gold. It's where a lot of those are located at. And so that's where the metals are. Over on this side, I'll kind of move the cursor over here. We get into the nonmetal and metalloid side. Our nonmetals consist of some families. These families are just kind of by name. The boron family, the carbon family, nitrogen and oxygen family. The last two families do have special names just because they're so useful and practical in what they've done. The one here with fluorine, group number 17, is known as the halogens. Halogens are common chemicals that are used in cleaning, antibacterials, and things of that nature. And then group 18 is known as the noble gases. They're the least reactive of all the elements on the periodic table. I guess that's one of the features that would be good to look at here, is that this periodic table has up and down. I call these families or groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way over to 18. So there are 18 families or groups. Going from side to side, we call these energy levels or periods or trends. 1, 2, all the way down through 7. Okay. One of the neat names I mentioned there was trends, because a trend is something that kind of is an ongoing property that we notice. And as you go across the periodic table, one of the things they found out over the years is that they have trends like an increasing atomic number, an increasing atomic mass, maybe your ionization energy or other properties like that increase because it's a trend. The family column, as I always say, we are family. I got all my elements with me. Hey, carbon and silicon and germanium and tin and lead have a lot of things in common. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium, a lot of things in common. They're a family and they stick together. Okay? That's kind of our base on lecture 1 here. I guess a few other simple things. You'll notice the atomic number and the atomic mass are prevalent on there, and that goes back to the lecture we had earlier on atomic number and atomic mass. This is just a way to find it. One other thing I forgot there was the solid liquid gas. There are 3 types of elements on our planet. Predominantly, if you look at our planet, we have predominant elements are solids. Almost all of the elements on the periodic table are solids. We only have 2 liquids that are naturally occurring. Element number 80, mercury, and over here on the right side, element number 35, bromine, are the only 2 naturally occurring liquids on our planet. We do have a handful of gases up here. Every periodic table notes them differently. One in your book might use a balloon to show it. Some might use color coding, but the elements in the last row are noble gases. Then we've got our nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, and bromine, and hydrogen. So I believe there are 11 elements that are gases. And there are several that are what we call the Honkelbrief family, which are inert or unreactive. And now the Honkelbrief family would include hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and fluorine. Those are inert elements. Iodine, though, is a solid.